Hello and welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Job 40. And we're asking these couple of questions. What would you say to God in a casual conversation? And the idea that sitting around the table with God, it's not going to be what you would expect. So here it is. This is your moment. You can present all your gripes and complaints. Time to tell God how you would run the universe. Let's sit around and give God a piece of our mind. I would tell him how I hated all the disappointment and trouble that he seemed to cause in my life. Why didn't this relationship work out? Why did I wait so long to be married? Why did you make me like you did? Some people would say, I have a weird personality. I am too tall or short. I have physical deformities. I'm not very smart. I am very plain. Or some people would say, I will never get over this tragedy, physical, mental, or emotional abuse. Others would say, this world is just too hard to live in. I was born into a poor family. There's too many bad people. There's too many diseases. You can't trust anybody. How have others overcome this? Come on, God, answer up. What could you possibly say for yourself? Very brave talk to say to the Almighty God. But this is what Job did. Let's listen to how God responded to Job. Here is how he would answer you or me. Let's listen to the conversation together. The creation, Job chapter 40. Moreover, Yahweh answered Job, shall he who argues contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it. Then Job answered Yahweh, behold, I am of small account. What will I answer you? I lay my hand on my mouth. I have spoken once, and I will not answer. Yes, twice, but I will proceed no further. Then Yahweh answered Job out of the whirlwind. Now brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you will answer me. Will you even annul my judgment? Will you condemn me, that you may be justified? Or do you have an arm like God? Can you thunder with a voice like him? Now deck yourself with excellency and dignity. Array yourself with honor and majesty. Pour out the fury of your anger. Look at everyone who is proud, and bring him low. Look at everyone who is proud, and humble him. Crush the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together. Bind their faces in the hidden place. Then I will also admit to you that your own right hand can save you. See now, Behemoth, which I made as well as you. He eats grass as an ox. Look now, his strength is in his thighs. His force is in the muscles of his belly. He moves his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his thighs are knit together. His bones are like tubes of bronze. His limbs are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He who made him gives him his sword. Surely the mountains produce food for him, where all the animals of the field play. He lies under the lotus trees, in the covert of the reed and the marsh. The lotuses cover him with their shade. The willows of the brook surround him. Behold, if a river overflows, he doesn't tremble. He is confident, though the Jordan swells even to its mouth. Shall any take him
when he is on the watch, or pierce through his nose with a snare. May God add blessing to the reading of his word.
So, what would it be like to sit around a table and contend with God? Lay out all your grievances as Job did. In Job chapter 40, it says this: Shall he who argues contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it. So, if you're going to contend with the Almighty, what did Job end up doing? Before this meeting, he was all like, he's right and indignant and God's wrong. And then in verse 4, all he says is, Behold, I am of small account. What will I answer you? I lay my hand on my mouth. I have nothing to say. And then God says, straighten up like a man and I will question you. And this thing, will you even annul my judgment? Will you condemn me that you may be justified? And then, do you have an arm like God? Can you thunder with a voice like him? Do you have the power of God? You know, it says, can you array yourself with honor and majesty? We're just lowly creatures. Can you pour out the fury of your anger? Can you take someone who's proud and bring him low? Can you humble the proud, crush the wicked in their place? And then he goes on to say this idea of the behemoth. What is the behemoth? We're not sure. His strength is in his size, his thighs, his force is in the muscles of his belly. He moves his tail like a cedar. So he has a big, strong tail. You know, we couldn't possibly make something that massive and that big and that terrible. So if we contended with God, I think we would be humbled like Job was. You're actually faced with God. We'd have nothing to say. We're just humble creatures. So think about that when we try to contend with God. In the end, we really have nothing to say. So here we have our modern expression. This is the idea from this reading about a behemoth. Now, this is a really scary monster because I have no idea what behemoth actually looked like. Some people say it would be like a dinosaur or something. But in a modern expression, a behemoth means something that is very powerful or very big. Like a corporation could be called a behemoth, something that's very big or very powerful. And again, from our reading, it comes from Job 40:15. See now, Behemoth, which I made as well as you. He eats grass as an ox. I still love that. Which I made as well as you. God saying that he made this big, scary being just like he made people. These are two things that he made. So a behemoth, very powerful and very big. Behemoth.